So we figured, being that survival is the theme this year for the International Camporee, we figured we would start our closing campfire the old-fashioned way, with good old flint and steel. That's what we want. I don't know if you can see that in the camera there. There's an ember right there. You can see it just as I blow on it a little bit. A little piece of chalk in there.
Before I throw my camp blanket on so we can enjoy the campfire, I wanted to show you my Cobscook Moosehorn International Camporee shirt. This is thanks to Mike Bovey of Scouts Canada, who these days can't make it to our events live, but he's here in spirit, and that's why I wear the shirt every year, is to remember him. And as you can see, he used to do silk screens of each year's Camporee patch. In addition, at the 2001 Canadian National Jamboree, he did a full back screen. So, we miss you, Mike, but we hope you understand that you're here in spirit. What are you looking at? It's just the two of us.
It's that squirrel over there. You see him? The squirrel right there.
Oh,
He's watching us.
really?
Yeah, and it's waving at us too. It's weird.
Wonder if he's a Squirrel Scout.
Could be. They got dog scouts, so why not a squirrel scout?
Yeah.
Oh, you're still with us.
Oh,
How you doing? So, we're here enjoying our closing campfire. I think we should do a song.
really?
Yeah. I wonder what song I should do. I know. I think we should do a Cobscook classic.
Okay.
Yeah. Go something like this. Gonna get into my character now. I used to be a hunter, stalked wild game, killing birds and beasties, felt no shame. And then one day when hunting, I got a doe. Got between the forehead, how was I to know? I shot Bambi's mother.
Oh.
Now I feel so sad.
Oh.
I shot Bambi's mother. I made Bambi sad. And now the deer all hate me. Thumper too. Greenpeace now berates me. And Disney plans to sue. Oh, I'm so sorry that she's dead.
Especially when I think I could have shot a Care Bear instead.
I hate it when I forget a line.
Good thing you had me here next to you, brother, huh?
Yeah, good thing.
You know, that brings to mind a story.
It does.
It does. You know, you remember Steve Mayberry, who recently passed away, the scout leader, who was our district executive for almost 20 years in Key Valley District?
And he was a camp director at Camp Bombsine for several years. Yeah, I remember being this tall and him being out there doing his thing.
Yep, I remember that when I was a scout. There was a story he always told.
What's this?
Which didn't involve flying pigs. Pigs are flying, but this is not part of the story. That's all right. Oh no, it's a roast pig.
So these kind of came in flying
those-
out of nowhere, and these guys were at this year's Cobscook.
Yes, they were. They substituted for bunnies at the Kill the Wabbit. Those are interesting. But anyways, that story that Steve told every year, it never got old for some reason, even though he told it at every campfire, at every camporee, and every week at summer camp. And it was about the greatest sportsman that ever lived in the state of Maine. His name was Emile Grenier. During deer season, he always got a trophy buck with at least 12 points. Back when the moose lottery was introduced to bring back the moose hunt, that first year, you know, they did the drawing for the permits live on TV. Not only did his name get drawn, it was the first name drawn in the lottery. When the fishing season opened, back in these days, Atlantic salmon were not yet endangered and you could fish for them. On opening season day, he'd be there at the Penobscot River, ready to fish. But he'd wait for somebody else to catch the first fish, and then he would catch the second fish and be bigger than the first fish. If you asked him why he waited and didn't catch the first fish, he would explain to you that back then, the tradition was that the first fish went to the president. Emile had no use for politicians regardless of the letter after his name. As far as he was concerned, if the president wanted salmon for dinner, the president could catch his own darn salmon. He also invited me over one day to show off his trophy room. And various trophies from all over the world. You know, he went on safari in Africa, he went hunting in the Arctic. And I was looking around. There was one thing very obviously missing. And before I could bring it up with Emile, Emile said, "Yes, I know. I have not yet hunted a Maine black bear. They're very elusive. But I think this is going to be the year that I get a Maine black bear." So a few days later, first day of bear hunting season, he went off into the woods, looked around all day. All he could find was a few old tracks and some old bear scat. It was getting on towards evening, and he had to, he looked at his compass, and he had to climb over this steep hill to get back to his pickup truck. So he started climbing up that hill, and up that hill. It was a very steep hill. At the top of the hill was this huge old white pine tree. You and your friend could grab hands and you still would not be able to reach around the trunk of this tree. He rounded this tree, and on the other side there was this big, huge Maine black bear who reared up on his legs. Roar! 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 Before Emil could bring his gun up, that bear buckled onto him in this huge bear hug, and down the hill they tumbled. Emil bear, Emil bear, Emil bear, Emil. Landing in a heap at the bottom of the hill. Both his legs are broken. His gun is well out of reach, good 10, 12 feet away. For our Canadian friends, about 3 to 4 meters away. Meanwhile, this big, mean, angry Maine black bear was on top of him. Roar! And getting ready to kill him. He realized that this was the end. And so he prayed, "Dear Lord, this is your friend Emil. I haven't asked much. I've had a great life. But please grant me this one wish. Make this bear a Christian." I'm serious.
Yeah.
Make this bear a Christian. All of a sudden, these clouds scudded in and blocked the setting sun briefly. And then there was a brief opening, and a ray of sun beamed down on the bear's head. The bear suddenly paused, looked around, and sniffed. And he looked down at Emil and grinned. He then looked up at the sky. He brought his big, huge front forepaws together, intertwined the claws, and to Emil's shock, he spoke. "Thank you, dear Lord, for this Emil I'm about to receive in thy name. Amen."
That was great.
Never gets old.
We hope you enjoyed that story for sure. Hey everyone, Mono Wagon here. Figured I would participate a song that I've been doing for years at Cobscook, and goes a little something like this. Farewell to the friends I lost and never found. It's just the life I lead, I just can't stick around. Good times and great friends can make me stay. I got this lady called the road, I fade away. I watch the world go by, it's a blur outside my window. Perpetual man in motion, keep it pure and keep it simple. Don't ever get too close, don't touch, you just might be. A heart in transit for the want and for the need. I do the things I want, but I pay the price, and I still want you, I still need you in my life. Farewell to the friends I lost and never found. This is the life I lead, I just can't stick around. Good times, great friends, can make me stay. I got this lady called the road, I fade away. Sometimes the purest love is the fuel that feeds that fire. You bring the magic back and you make it burn much higher. Last night I lost a friend, but I found $1, 100 pennies for the thought and for our power. I do the things I want, but I pay the price. And I still want you, I still live my life. Farewell to the friends I've lost and never found. It's just the life I lead, I just can't stick around. Good times, great friends, can't make me stay. I got this lady called the road, I fade away. Fade away, oh, I fade away. Like a shadow in the night or in the day, I fade away. Fade away, oh, I fade away. Like a shadow in the night or in the day, I fade away. Enjoy the rest of the campfire.
Greetings. Now I look a little different with Cobscook sunrise in the background. I'm not as spontaneous as my brother is sometimes, and I didn't think of this song until I was about halfway home after the campfire. Fortunately, since it's a virtual campfire, I'll get pasted in. This is in revenge to Chris and his various book selections. This song was popular in the Kennebec Valley District for several years when it was sung by one of our past DEs, Matt Maurer. So I present to you the Rooster Song. We had some chickens that wouldn't lay eggs. We had some chickens that wouldn't lay eggs. Then one day a rooster flew into our yard and caught our chickens right off of their guard. They're laying eggs now like they never used to. Ever since that rooster flew in our yard, they're laying eggs now like they never used to. Ever since that rooster flew in our yard. We had a Jersey cow that wouldn't give milk. We had a Jersey cow that wouldn't give milk. Then one day a rooster flew in our yard and caught that Jersey cow right off of her guard. We're getting eggnog like we never used to. Ever since that rooster flew in our yard, we're getting eggnog like we never used to. Ever since that rooster flew in our yard. We had our garden that wouldn't produce anything. We had our garden that wouldn't produce anything. Then one day a rooster flew in our yard and caught our garden right off of its guard. We're getting eggplants like we never used to. Ever since that rooster flew in our yard, we're getting eggplants like we never used to. Ever since that rooster flew in our yard. We had a waffle iron that just wouldn't work. We had a waffle iron that just wouldn't work. Then one day a rooster flew in our yard and caught that waffle iron right off of its guard. We're getting Eggos like we never used to. Ever since that rooster flew in our yard, we're getting Eggos like we never used to. Ever since that rooster flew in our yard. We had a teacher that wouldn't give a test. We had a teacher that wouldn't give a test. Then one day a rooster flew in our yard and caught that teacher right off of her guard. She's giving exams like she never used to. Ever since that rooster flew in our yard, she's giving exams like she never used to. Ever since that rooster flew in our yard. Another nice thing about being virtual is you can pause when the phone rings in the background. My apologies. Where was I? Teacher, that's where I was the last, right? Okay. We had a dog who couldn't have pups. We had a dog who couldn't have pups. One day a rooster flew into our yard and caught that dog right off of her guard. We're getting poached eggs like we never used to. Ever since that rooster
flew in our yard. We're getting poached eggs like we never used to, ever since that rooster flew in our yard. We had a gum tree that wouldn't produce gum. We had a gum tree that wouldn't produce gum. One day a rooster flew into our yard and caught our gum tree right off of its guard. We're getting chiclets like we never used to, ever since that rooster flew in our yard. We're getting chiclets like we never used to, ever since that rooster flew in our yard. We had a roller coaster that wouldn't work. We had a roller coaster that wouldn't work. One day a rooster flew in our yard and caught that roller coaster right off of its guard. We're getting egg rolls like we never used to, ever since that rooster flew in our yard. We're getting egg rolls like we never used to, ever since that rooster flew in our yard. Last verse. We had a door jammed shut. We had a door jammed shut. One day a rooster flew in our yard and caught that door right off of its guard. Now we can exit like we never used to, ever since that rooster flew in our yard. Now we can exit like we never used to, ever since that rooster flew in our yard. Thank you.
Hey, and now we're going to have a video from the past, back in 2013 at the International Camporee. Hope you enjoy it. Alright, here we are at Moosehorn at about 11:45, and we're watching the clouds go by the moon here. I don't know if the camera will actually be able to zoom in on that, but you give it a shot. Look at how fast the clouds are motivating. I mean, we're almost getting vertigo from how fast they're moving. It's so cool to watch. And like, we're gonna watch this video like 10 years from now, and we're gonna go, what in God's name did you record that for? You can't see anything. It's like the moon appearing and disappearing. So dumb. But boy, you've got one heck of a zoom on your camera, Chris. That's what you're gonna be saying back home. That's what you're going to be saying. And now, a great banjo solo done at the 2016 Cobscook International Camporee, which was music themed. Hope you like it. Nice! That is what the Cobscook International Camporee music theme is all about. Yes! Nice! Hey, this is Montawagon here, and now we've got a little sea shanty done by Scout Sea Ship 243, which had been recorded at the 2016 Cobscook International Camporee music theme.
I thought I heard the old man say, "Leave her, Johnny, leave her. You can go ashore and take your pay. And it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. We're just and it's time for us to leave her. The times was hard and the wages low. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. And the grub was bad and the gales did blow. And it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is down and the winds won't blow. And it's time for us to leave her. For her her stern was foul and the voyage was long. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. The winds was bad and the gales was strong, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is done and the winds won't blow, and it's time for us to leave her. And we'll leave her tight and we'll leave her trim. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. And heave a hungry packet in, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is done and the winds won't blow, and it's time for us to leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her with a grin. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. For there's many a worser we've sailed in, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is done and the winds will blow, and it's time for us to leave her. And now it's time to say goodbye. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the old pinnerheads are drawing nigh, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is done and the winds won't blow, and it's time for us to leave her.
I don't know how these substitute for bunnies, but I heard they were pretty popular.
They were pretty popular.
They sound more like geese to me. You never know what you're going to come across these things.
All right. Hello and welcome to the Cobscook International Camporee Book Club. Tonight I'll be sharing with you a bunch of great Cobscook book classic titles. For you scouts at home, know that this particular Camporee this year is themed survival, so I've hand selected 4 amazing titles for you to read at home. How to Survive a Bear Attack by Ben Eaton. How to Check Your Pulse by Izzy Dead. Falling Off a Cliff by Eileen Dover. And one of my favorite of the survival series, The Lost Scout by Wareham I.
Emil could have used that first one.
He could have, especially the bear attack. Yeah. From our camping series, a few titles for you to look up. To the Outhouse by Willie Make It, illustrated by Betty Won't. I Was Prepared by Justin Case. Boy Scout Brigade by Pat Troll. A Sailor's Adventure by Ron A. Ground.
That's painful. That's just too painful.
And now that the Camporee is officially coming to a close, I figured I'd throw in a few of these other books for you scouts at home who will be going to school after the weekend. Here's a great title, The Numbers Game by Cal Q. Later. and walking to school by Misty bus.
That's awful. Someone save me, please.
Well, at the end of this Camporee, I'll be reading Gotta Go by See You Later. If I keep doing this, I'm going to lose my job as Camporee chair, and I'll have to read Getting Fired by Anita Job. We hope you enjoyed some of these great book titles from the Cobscook International Camporee Book Club. We'll see you next year. Well, it's getting to the end of our Camporee.
And the campfire is dying low on us here.
Guess it's time to do Scout Vespers.
Softly falls the light of day as our campfire fades away. Silently each scout should ask, have I done my daily task? Have I kept my honor bright? Can I guiltless sleep tonight? Have I done and have I dared everything to be prepared? Day is done, gone the sun, from the lakes, from the hills, from the sky. All is well, safely rest, guard is high.
And until the great Scoutmaster of all Scouts be with us until we meet again.
Until we meet again.
Thank you for attending our Cobscook International Camporee 2020 online edition and live edition for those of you who attended. We hope to see you again next year at the 2021 Cobscook International Camporee, our 59th annual Camporee. See you there.
Watch for it on Facebook. Good night.